Yedidiah Hawkins, an elder of the House of Yahweh.
What has the House of Yahweh done to protect the children of the House of Yahweh? Wasn't the House of Yahweh supposed to be an organization that taught to uphold the laws of Yahweh, to study under the feet of the teacher, to better themselves for the benefit of all mankind? Has the House of Yahweh taken this mafia code of silence? Why can't they do an investigation for themselves? But they continue to put Yedidiah Hawkins up on a pedestal and say he's a saint of Yahweh that is suffering for righteousness' sake. Do they have their own congregation for the Doctrine of Faith letter from the House of Yahweh to keep all allegations secret, just as the Catholic Church does? When you do investigate these allegations, you are excommunicated and kicked out of the House of Yahweh. Is there a fear of secrecy, of scandal, that led the pastor and the elders and Kohans to place the House of Yahweh ahead of the safety of the children? I have to give the Catholic Church some credit. At least they investigate and compensate the victims. How much worse is it that we are at the House of Yahweh to make a lifetime commitment to serve and to dedicate our innermost being, offering up everything we have to serve, and placing complete trust in the ones who believe are representatives of our Creator?
The question is, has the elders, Kohans, failed?
In the Book of Israel, number 8, it states that Yedidiah is innocent and suffering for righteousness' sake. But Yedidiah was tried in court and has received 30 years in prison for molesting his stepdaughter. Now we're going to go to an interview with Kepha Hawkins, a judge and elder of the House of Yahweh, who did an investigation and was kicked out in 2010. Here's what he has to say. Okay, Kepha, what was your investigation that you did in the House of Yahweh concerning Yedidiah Hawkins?
I started an investigation several weeks after Yedidiah Hawkins was arrested for child molestation, and at the request of his wife and family members, they asked me to look into it, knowing that I was an elder, a Kahan, and a judge in the House of Yahweh. And what I did was I went and proceeded to start gathering all the facts as much as I could. And my first interview was with a Kahan. I talked to him, and he had lied to me concerning the facts of a digital recording made of Yedidiah where he confessed having sexual problems, and that he admitted that he knew he had problems with girls because his wife had actually recorded it without his knowledge. And so when it was maybe around 2 years after I had talked to this Kahan, that he actually did come forward and say that he lied to me when I came back after being gone for 2 years, and I basically called him in to question him again because I knew that he had lied to me. I tried my best to gather as much facts as possible concerning the allegations of Yedidiah molesting his stepdaughter, and I had several, at least 4 to 5 people who had told me that they had heard this tape and that they were concerned with what they heard on the tape. And of course, at that point in 2010, late 2009, early 2010, Yedidiah had already got 30 years. He was convicted for 30 years in prison of child molestation against his stepdaughter. But what I found in my investigation, as I dug deeper into what was going on, there was a lot of cover-up. And not only did he was accused of molesting his stepdaughter, but he actually had molested his own biological daughter. So there was a lot of allegations here, and there's a lot of misconduct. So far, what I've been able to uncover, because it's still an open investigation within the House of Yahweh. Of course, they kicked me out mainly because I did come back in 2009, and I did tell Yeshua Hawkins, the overseer, that I would investigate this matter. I would continue investigating it until I got to the truth of the matter. And what I found was cover-ups. Of course, I don't have access to a lot of people who have information because they wouldn't tell me the truth if I was able to talk to them, because they would actually be exposing themselves for covering up an unlawful action within the house of Yahweh. And I say unlawful by Yahweh's laws and unlawful by man's laws. So today what I find is much like what you see at first what occurred with the Catholic Church, that the priority is not on the people but on protecting the priesthood. Of course, the Catholic Church, they've had to come clean on a lot of things because people have come forward, and I think what we're going to find down the road here is that a lot of these people who have been molested within the house of Yahweh, which there still are child molesters there, they will come forward and all this will come out eventually. I believe nothing that's done in darkness will not, and everything done in darkness will be made light.
Just as he said, it was so difficult to obtain any information from the house of Yahweh at all. The house of Yahweh kept things hidden during the trial of Yedidiah Hawkins. Members of the house of Yahweh got on stand and lied about certain things. They were not honest. These acts that has occurred in the house of Yahweh is an abomination to our Father Yahweh, as stated in Leviticus 18. There are some who have started to see this for what it truly is, and they are trying to educate everyone about this organization that professes to love Yahweh and its congregation. This organization robs you of your true joy by not showing care and concern for the innocent children. They have been molested countless times. Remember, if you suffered from child abuse, it's not your fault. Now we are placing a website on our screen to give you more information and insight about what this organization is all about.
www.themanbehindthename.com. Email Kifa613@gmail.com.